Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Be Determined. This week I have Cog Grinder and Broken Heart Liberal, and we're going to be talking about the fact that the world is a dumpster fire, Germany is a dumpster fire, the UK is a dumpster fire, the US is a dumpster fire, Canada is a dumpster fire, but this particular dumpster fire we're going to be talking about today is North Korea and possibly Donald Trump's inability to stop tweeting. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Broken Heart Liberal. You can find me at Broke HRT Liberal, and talk politics, radical centrist, basically.
Hi, I'm Cog Grinder, and I can't beat any of those intros. You can find me at Cog Grinder on Twitter, BitChute, YouTube. I like to bitch about first world problems and radical dumpster fires.
What grinds your gears, right?
Yes, exactly.
And also, like, what Cognitive Thoughts gay grinder profile?
Yes. Cognitive Thoughts gay grinder profile, indeed. Shout out to him, by the way. He just reached 13,000 subs not too long ago.
Yeah, I had too much of a sore throat to join him on his stream, which really sucked yesterday. I'm finally over this fucking cold. I've been sick for a week. Not totally over the cold. So I actually, like, what I like to do is Q&A because I'm too much of a lazy fuck to do any research. So I'm going to start with the short list of questions that I got up for this stream. And first question, what would be the best possible outcome for the DPRK? Because I'm not going to continue to say Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, where I'm probably going to lose my damn mind.
Or just North Korea.
Just
Or
North Korea.
you could trump it out, Little Rocket Man.
Well, I mean, you can only call Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man so many times before it stops being funny.
That's true.
I think Rocket Boy is better, to be honest, but it's a lot more insulting.
I think he missed out on that because, and also, like, the reference to Rocket Man is pretty much the exact opposite of what Kim Jong-un is. So,
yeah,
might not have been totally apt. All right, so what would be the best possible outcome for this, like, standoff with North Korea that we have going right now?
You know, I don't know. All I know is that we're looking at 100% more dumpster fire than I think that we have outcomed. To be honest, I think at this point the best outcome that, of course, I'm going to be living the pipe dream here because why not? If Trump would just stop tweeting at this point. I mean, look, I have never been a supporter of Trump, but I am also a person that says, you know, while it may not have been the best outcome, let's see how he does. And it seems at this point that he is clearly in it to just cause havoc. And I think, you know, some people are like, yeah, you know, this is different. You know, I'm not used to seeing this, but I think the best outcome at this point is he just needs to stop tweeting, to stop just trying to antagonize every nation that is against what his policies are, and maybe start actually looking into how we can actually solve the problems. But on the other hand, if I play, you know, devil's advocate with myself here, what can we really do to stop a rogue state?
Well, this is if I may, sorry, liberal. If I may, I actually think that this might be one of those times where not a coup, because I don't think that the people could actually handle a coup, but maybe a little bit of tweaking the system and a little assassination might be in order. Like, I think that would be the cleanest way to handle shit at this point without starting a war with North Korea. And my biggest worry about, like, a war with North Korea is the fact that, like, Seoul, South Korea is literally right on the edge of that particular toilet bowl. And I think that even though North Korea doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning a war with us, China, Russia, or really even South Korea themselves, they could do a lot of damage to South Korea. And in the process, a lot of North Koreans will die. And I know that that's not an outcome that I think South Korea wants, because they still consider the North Koreans to be like part of them, part of their culture, and they don't want a nuke. And also, like, I wouldn't want a nuke like right on my border, were I a country.
Well, sure.
Yeah, and I don't think China wants that either.
So one of the things in regards to tweeting, I'm not exactly so I this might be a little wishful thinking on my part, but I on some degree wants me to think that Trump is sort of gaslighting North Korea a little bit, because I feel like most people or a lot of presidents, I mean, there has been some threats and stuff like this, but like Trump is pushing it really far, and I think what he's trying to do is scare the living shit out of them into backing down. Whether that works or not, I don't know. that is the key thing, whether it works or not. But it might be a little wishful thinking on my part, because if Trump doesn't actually have a plan, then we are truly fucked. But that's the only like sort of way forward I can think in regards to what he's doing. If he has a plan, hopefully he has a plan. And in regards to outcomes, the best possible outcome would probably be basically like North Korea. I mean, I'm not sure if they would ever give up their nuclear weapons, because once you're declared the axis of evil, that makes you worried. But I think at the very least, sort of not a moderation in leadership. I don't know if that's even possible at this point, but some kind of moderation in leadership, i.e., sort of the way Pakistan and India have sort of cooled tensions down a little bit, and realized maybe not nuking each other is a good idea.
Yeah,
that would probably be the best outcome, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I don't normally call for like the assassination of a world leader.
I'm sure the CIA has plenty of plans in play. They're trying to do plenty of plans.
I don't actually think that Trump has a plan. The most of the folks like me who voted for Bernie Sanders and such, I'm sorry I had to take off. Like the animal was acting up. Most of the folks like me who were Bernie bros during the election, I'm not anymore. I wouldn't support him now anymore. But I think some of us, our point was that he's not a diplomat. Donald Trump is a snake oil pitchman. And that's not like the type of leader that we need. And like, honestly, seriously, Hillary's not either. She's almost the same thing. But I think like the president that we needed was not what we got. We got a pitchman, and we needed a statesman.
I also supported Bernie, so I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, because I think like despite all the socialism and all of that stuff, he has a lot of experience, and he was a statesman.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main reason that I had picked him over Trump and Hillary. So that's like something I know. Like folks are just like, oh, socialism is the worst thing ever, but like at least the dude could possibly be a diplomat.
Right. I mean, yeah. Again, like I'm perfectly willing to admit that it's me wanting him to have a plan than just, like. I
really hope so. But the more he's on Twitter, the less that I think he has any kind of plan whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, you have like the cabinet of people that he picked is actually pretty fucking solid.
Right.
And he needs to listen to those people because they're a bunch of smart fucking folks.
Definitely.
Betsy DuBois not included in that statement, but yeah.
I mean, of course, the thing is, the possibility also he could be listening to these people, and because he's got a lot of military folks, maybe this confrontation is at least partially their idea, because if you're in the if you're a hammer and you see everything as a nail, even
as such, I have a hard time thinking that folks in the military would actually actively want nuclear war, because if anybody, like if any folks would realize the potential backlash of a nuclear war, it would be like a freaking 4-star general.
Well,
Like,
I
I
mean,
think that they would want to avoid that as much as possible, even more so than regular people.
not so much that, but more like saber rattling, you know, because like when we were going against the Soviet Union, there was lots of saber rattling and sort of threats, basically. And so not so much that they want nuclear war, but so more like they have sort of a confrontational view of things, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And someone in the chat, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name. Versatorix is saying that his tweets are modern fireside chats. No, like, if he had a vlog YouTube channel, that would be modern fireside chats. This is 140 characters of bullshit.
Oh, Vercingetorix. Scott.
Yeah, there's no way that's even freaking close. I'm sorry, dude. There's no way.
I think that I would have to disagree with the modern fireside chats, because at this point, I think he understands, totally what social media can do, and I think that that's his whole ploy, is that he understands 100% that everybody is now attuned to social media and they don't want to see anything to do with the mainstream media. I mean, let's be honest, that everything to do with the MSM now is as much of a dumpster fire as the world is going to be. And so with that in mind, we have this whole crux of 140 characters, or, anywhere that he posts, that's just going to either try to say, this is the current state, which I can get where the modern fireside chats would come from, that this is kind of the state of affairs. But when you're just tweeting, state of affairs all the time, and, like, talking about how we'll deal with North Korea as we see fit, because Rex Tillerson was trying to chat with North Korea, and then Trump's like, we'll deal with North Korea with how we have to, effectively.
I think
it's not a good strategy.
No.
I understand sort of the analogy in that he's talking directly to people, and in that way it is. But at the same time, I feel like he should elaborate a little more. I guess we're getting 280 tweets, so we'll see if that changes anything.
It's impossible to like elaborate on like state issues in even 280 characters.
Yeah.
Like, he really missed a chance to be the first president with a YouTube channel.
Didn't Obama have a YouTube channel?
Yes, but it was kind of run by interns and heavily scripted and shit.
Well,
I would
I think at any point anybody's gonna do that, because that's how it's gonna have to be. Even like Susan Wojcicki's YouTube channel. I know I butchered the crap out of that name, but the YouTube CEO's YouTube channel is probably run by their PR. There's no way around it. If you just run it yourself, as a president, you're probably taking away X period of time that you could be dealing with other things.
I mean, to a degree, though, like, time does need to be spent communicating with the public, though. So I mean,
yes.
I guess George Bush was kind of the first president to start doing that with social media, even if it was only like kind of little snippets of his life. And I actually followed his dogs on social media.
They're so cute.
They're so cute, and that one dog is such an asshole. He bit the paparazzi. He did what we all want to do. He did. He bit a paparazzi. He bit a reporter. It was hilarious. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I said what I wanted to say on this matter, at least, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. So dumpster fire. Speaking of dumpster fire, dog, stop. What do you think would happen? What would be China's reaction if we actually did nuke North Korea? Like, let's say everything goes tits up and 45 hits the button.
Wait, who nukes who?
we nuke North Korea. Anybody nukes North Korea.
Unprovoked?
Provoked or unprovoked.
Well, it actually depends. Hello.
Sorry, go ahead, Broken Heart.
It actually depends, because the thing is, like, if we nuke unprovoked, that would cause, like, because the thing is, like, North Korea's only quote ally it's not exactly an ally anymore, but China is sort of an ally to North Korea only because they don't want South Koreans and Americans on their southern border. If we did it unprovoked, not only would that be breaking essentially we've essentially said we're not going to do it first use. That would break that tree. It would throw. It would basically open the door for just using nukes in normal warfare. If it was unprovoked, or I mean, if it was provoked, then it's a little more gray, but it still might open the door for more conventional stuff. They would essentially have to launch first or be about to launch first in order for us to be anywhere in the clear.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think anybody's stupid enough to use nukes just willy-nilly.
No.
I would hope not.
Except possibly Kim Jong-un.
That guy. I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody. I do think that like the provocation that's been going on lately over social media has just been ridiculous. Either side could just be like, well, now's the time. But I would really hope that they're smart enough to just not use nukes as a regular warfare weapon. As long as if they're going to use it as like an absolute last resort because oops, somebody else pressed the button before I did, and then they're like, well, we've got to press the button too. I think that would.
Well, Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un's got some serious issues being the only fat kid in his entire country. Come on.
That's true.
Also, oh God, what was I going to say? Shit. No, go ahead. I lost my train of thought.
Amtrak.
What?
I said Amtrak.
Yeah, Amtrak. I lost the L. I missed it. It's left the station. And my backpack stuck in the door.
The other thing is that I'm not entirely sure, but I also feel like I don't believe they have too many nukes because I believe China has about 300, so they can't possibly have more than, I don't know. I would say like upper limit would probably have to be 50, but I mean that I don't think they have too many, and so I don't know our intelligence, but conceivably we could just, if they were going to launch or something like that, we could like use conventional weapons. I don't know, like the Navy has like a rail gun, we have kinetic impact stuff, and so it is possible, although not necessarily guaranteed, but we could also like hit the sites and stuff like that. We also have anti-ballistic missile systems. We have a lot of layers before we actually just nuke, basically.
Yeah, I think our missile defense system, I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we got ours from Israel, and they have one of the best ones. So.
Well, I honestly don't think Kim Jong-un is going to launch nukes at us. One, North Korea reminds me too much of that, one of those little dogs that barks, and then the second you turn around and look at it funny, it pisses all over the carpet. And two, after the last launch that they made, I'm pretty sure it's going to take them a while to fix that giant-ass slingshot.
Oh, yeah.
You have to repair the trebuchet.
Yeah.
And there's also a theory, I think someone was saying coming out of North Korea, that a lot of the missiles that they're like marching down the street with their little propaganda parade, basically empty, giant painted empty oil drums. There's like nothing in them.
Are you sure they're not?
Interesting.
Are you sure they're not paper mache?
No, like they're metal, but they're just an empty shell.
But I mean, how could
somewhat legit?
How can they be so smart?
You know what, Thornton? That sounds exactly like me. I'm all metal, but because I have no soul, I'm hollow on the inside.
In regards to the anti-ballistic missile system, we've developed that on our own. As MC was pointing out, that Israel is has the Iron Dome, which I think would be more akin to anti like RPG stuff that they're putting on tanks now. It'd be probably more similar to that.
Ah,
Maybe because anti-ballistic missile systems usually like are intercepting way up in the atmosphere, unless you get it really early. But that would probably involve getting close to North Korean like waters and stuff like that.
yeah, they've already said that Donald Trump's tweets are like an act of war, and they've threatened to shoot down anything that flies over even South Korea. We'll see
Well,
if
that's not going to happen.
That's
Are they really going to be stupid enough to do that sort of an act of war? I mean, that would piss off their neighbors, South Korea,
I mean,
and two, it would piss us off pretty badly too. So that would be like 2 acts of war in one.
I mean, the thing is, if they shot down a plane, like South Korea would respond. Probably not with like mobilization or anything like that, but there would be exchanges. I know there was a South Korean ship that got sunk, and as well as North Korea also they bombarded some island. I don't remember exactly when, but like some small island with a village on it got like artillery shelled and stuff like that. So there would be some kind of exchange, but probably not a full-on war. Things would have to like keep escalating from there in order to,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be easy enough to piss off North Korea. They'd just show holograms of Kim Jong-un's twin brother singing his Oppa Gangnam Style at the fucking border.
well, every Christmas they set up a giant fucking Christmas tree for everybody across the border to see, just as a fuck you. Like, it's not even like that Christmas is really widely celebrated in South Korea. It's just them saying, fuck you, we can do this.
Hilarious.
Cog?
Somebody mistreating their poor dog over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my pup's going a little crazy.
Stop beating the dog.
Oh no, it's because one of my pups has to be downstairs.
Ah. All right, next question.
Answer. Next question.
All right. Have you guys heard about the fact that China is actually ordering North Korea to close all of the firms that they have in the country?
I have
and
not
also,
heard that.
Yeah.
Banks.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me, because if you walk somewhere and your dog starts pissing on everybody else's foot, wouldn't you kind of like reprimand them or try to distance yourself from them a little bit?
Probably.
Definitely. I didn't hear exactly until now essentially the businesses, but I did remember China stopped banking for North Korea. I don't know how much they were banking before, but they are taking measures against North Korea, at least to greater or lesser degree.
Actually, I found out something interesting the other day. Apparently, North Koreans send women out into the world to screw business dudes to try to get pregnant and trick them into investing in North Korean businesses. Did you guys ever hear about that?
No.
I've never heard that. What?
What?
Apparently, some women that have like managed to defect from North Korea have said that's a practice that they have, is sending women out to screw rich business dudes to try to get pregnant so they can trick them, blackmail them into investing in North Korean businesses.
What the shit?
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't surprise me, because I do remember this was a while back. I think it was still during the Cold War, but Russia basically had a man-wife team or whatever, and they weren't married before, and like basically they got assigned to each other, and they literally had a kid in the U.S. And it's just like the kid's gonna essentially grow up and like realize at some point that he got conceived basically as a spy operation, not so much because their parents loved them and stuff like that. So that's gonna mess with them. So
I always feel so sorry for the kids of people involved in this type of shit.
yeah.
Well, hell,
You need to get the fucking pic of your parents were.
Okay, my signal could be going crazy.
You sound okay.
Am I coming in clearly?
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now you guys are cutting out on me. That's what I was asking.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah, thanks, you too.
Oh, good. The stream problems have followed me.
Perhaps refresh. Try refresh them. The tab.
Oh, I already did. It's not really working.
Oh no, I was talking to Magnus.
Oh.
Can't really
Maybe
refresh
he-
a tab. You can't really refresh a tab on a phone now, can you?
Yeah.
Close
think
it down and
always on the
open it using the link again. That could be.
Oh,
No,
so
it's bad-
then
it's bad.
it's not.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. It's,
You're
it's,
still
bad.
fine.
It's bad signal wherever I'm at. Well, you guys are cutting out a little bit on me, so it's probably something in the signal. So just give it a minute. It'll straighten itself out.
All right.
Okay.
You can move into a different area and hit another cell tower, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, no,
All
but
right.
if you guys ever listened to Yuri Bezmenov, he pretty much stated that in Russia you didn't go out and find a wife; you were practically assigned one.
Wow.
That's so crazy. I have a hard time wrapping my head around, like, basically being assigned a spouse. I have enough problems in my relationship. I don't need an assigned husband.
It was sort of a state thing where it was like you would both keep tabs on each other because you couldn't really speak your mind freely around your spouse because she might run to the government and tell on you, or he might. So that was kind of the whole idea behind that. Communism, not even once.
No.
I mean, the thing is, it's sort of like, it's on your sense of patriotism, I would guess, because the Russians still have that's one of the reasons why they support Putin is because he's kind of making Russia more powerful again and stuff like that. To a degree, there's obviously rumbling, but good.
I can actually expand on that. Authoritarianism, not even once.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah. I know. Fuck authoritarianism.
All right.
Well, I mean, if most of the people in this country that are so heads up on communism would just move to Venezuela for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, maybe they'd change their mind about capitalism.
Yeah.
Seriously, we have a lot of energetic people who want to foment revolution. That's the perfect place for it. Well, I guess they're right wing. They're right wing rebels, so they're not going to jive. But, anyways.
And on the whole thing of Donald Trump and the tweeting, I think this is a good subject for the second half. What do you guys? How do you guys feel about his use of social media when it comes to basically the subject of like state issues, like really any state issues? Because I seriously think that we should get a hashtag going. That's just Milena changed his password.
Honestly, at certain points, I think some of the stuff Donald Trump says and does on social media, it may not look it, but the people who are really getting sick of hearing all the shit from the radical left, I think to them it's like a breath of fresh air because people are getting, I mean, they haven't stopped since the fucking election. So he could practically say, I'm going to fuck everybody's mom here in the next two weeks, and they'd still like it because the radicals are being so fucking stupid about everything they do that I think he can get away with it.
Well, what do you mean by the second election?
I said since the election.
Oh, since the election. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think.
Because look at the whole NFL thing where he said, what was it? He said something about they should fire that son of a bitch and blah 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 blah, and it was like everybody went nuts over that.
He should not.
Well, he shouldn't have, but he did. And look at the aftermath. All the radical liberals are going batshit like they always do, and all the normal people in what they call flyover country are like so far up Trump's ass, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, I love like the folks that are basically rooting for nuclear war with North Korea. I'm sorry, are you mentally damaged? What is wrong with you? That should not be something that you're rooting for. I don't care who's president. That's like, as a liberal, I'm just like, why are you? I've never understood that. I don't know why you think the answer to ending war is more war, because that never works.
Well, and as a filthy centrist myself, I don't understand what all the hullabaloo is either. Because, I mean, honestly, I don't fucking endorse everything Trump says, but I can see where he's doing the wrong thing at the wrong time to get all the people more on his side. Because, like I said, the radicals and the revolutionaries in this country are just fucking up so hard it's not even funny.
No, and I'm overanalyzing. No, and that's basically what I kind of feel like this is. Someone needs to tell Donald Trump that the election is over and he won and he can stop campaigning now.
Well, no, he can't, because he's up for re-election in just 3 more years.
I know. It's so soon.
I mean,
MC says I'm overanalyzing things. Not overanalyzing things. That's what I do. I analyze things constantly.
Well, no, if you were overanalyzing things, it would be to the point that, like I said, most of the radical revolutionary weirdo types are overanalyzing everything. I mean, it was like we said on, Shitlords Anonymous last night. Dude, sometimes a cigar is just a fucking cigar.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any weird sexual connotations to it. It's just a fucking cigar. Somebody's smoking a goddamn cigar.
Yeah, there's analyzing, and then there's just like academia-ing things to death, which I swear to God is a thing now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I feel like the slippery slope fallacy has taken some hits in these last couple of years, because everything has been just sliding. Like, so many issues have been sliding down the slope, and it's just like, geez, like, slippery slope. I know it's still a fallacy, but like, its reputation is taking a hit.
It's still a fallacy. The thing with like the slippery slope fallacy, the way I've always seen it is, it's not that thing like if you make thing A, it's gonna slide down to things B, C, and D. It's the fallacy is that, like, if I give an extreme example, if you pass gay marriage, then all of a sudden people are gonna be fucking corpses. That's the slippery slope.
Well,
it's
unfortunately, on that note, they were actually right, because, like I said, I saw that thing where a morgue employee got their house raided by the FBI and they confiscated 3,000 penises.
Yeah, but like necrophiliacs have always and will always be a thing. It has nothing to do with gay people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess the fallacy is generally like it's inevitable, but like it's not that it's inevitable. But in regards to his social media use, it's very much a mixed bag for me, because definitely on foreign policy issues, I think for the most part it's bad. But on sort of social issues or just sort of pure outrage machine, he is completely gaslighting the progressives, the insane progressives, because when he's talking about North Korea, like, they're literally like, Chelsea Handler was like, I literally want a dictator from North Korea to swap and come over to the United States and rule the United States and give Trump to North Korea. Like there is no conceivable way this person has any credibility anymore. It's just like completely gaslighting them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. MC saying I'm missing the point that Donald's approach is really not the same old thing with North Korea. Yes. No. I realize that it's not the same old thing. What he's escalating shit because he's basically poking the beehive.
Oh yeah, Thorin.
Hang on.
Thorin, I was going to say I threw that tweet that I told you about in Sunday Funday in the actual Hangout.
Okay. Good.
Where would that be?
I said if you want to go into the actual Hangout that we're in here, because that's the only way I could do it. I put that tweet I was telling you about in Sunday Funday in there.
Oh, alrighty, I'll take a look. No, I can't find it. I'm stupid. Trump isn't firing missiles over Japan. No, he's not. He's just like firing shade at everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I don't understand why you would start a beef with Puerto Rico.
Well, to be fair, I don't think he's actually in regards to Puerto Rico. I don't think it's him. This is kind of outside the thing, but there's possibly a political angle that people are pushing in the mayor maybe and stuff like that. But it gets little tinfoil-ish. So, Cog, do you have any thoughts on his social media use?
I mean, I think that his social media use, while it's a bit funny sometimes, I think that I feel like there hasn't been a president in history that has used this kind of social media, in this tone, and there may never be again. And sometimes I'm like, this is, sometimes it's like kind of tame. Other times I'm just like, why would you say that? Why even continue to use Twitter?
Well, Cog, it's pretty obvious. The whole thing is, now that we've actually all gotten used to social media, and Donald Trump's already been using it for years.
Right.
Now he's the first president that's actually trying to use it to its full advantage. Even if he's not doing it right, he's still trying.
Right. And I think that's the head on the nail there, because while he's trying, he may not be using it correctly, but he is definitely at least trying to use it to, either, I guess, fuel, any kind of outrage that he can, or just get that reaction. And I think it's a lot of what he wants is just that reaction of, oh man, he's right.
Well, Cog, here's the thing too. At least, and with him using it as much as he does, there's also, it gives sort of a, what's the best way to put it? I think the best way to put it is it sort of gives him this illusion of accessibility that no other president's ever had.
Right.
And in response to North Korea not responding to Trump, they actually have a minister that makes statements in response to Trump's tweets. So that's not true. They are actually responding to his tweets, even though North Korea doesn't really have any social media accounts, so to speak.
I can't I'm just imagining right now like an official North Korea account, and that the lolcow that would be. Oh my goodness.
Oh God, you could meme that for weeks.
Just like,
they'd find you in your bedroom naked, bent over backwards, and fucking surrounded by memes. Oh my God, what happened to this guy?
Too much binging on memes.
The poor guy OD'd on memes. Quick, we need to get him to the Kekistani hospital fast. Meanwhile, they're doing CPR to the tune of Chatelet.
Oh, damn.
Man, where is our After Effects specialist to actually make an animation of all this?
Well, see, if I actually had the skills to meme every thought that comes through my head, I would probably be that guy that OD'd on memes.
Someone call in Doomed. We have to make this now.
By the way,
call in Doomed.
MC is saying it's clarifying he means actions, not so much talk, basically.
Yeah, you're roboting real bad.
Better?
Yeah,
No.
you're roboting.
Yep, he's there. He's in the robot phase.
He's OD'd on memes.
OD on memes. That's the first.
Quick.
That's the first sign. You got to get to the hospital.
Quick, put on the song Chatelet.
By response, I don't. So he said, MC is clarifying. He says he doesn't mean verbally responding to North Korea. Nothing North Korea says has any relevance. It's actions that are important. Well,
yeah.
Theoretically, you can say that about anything. So then, what's the point of saying anything? I don't understand that.
Well, see, I actually agree with some of what he said, because most of the time people can say anything. It's their actions you really have to watch. Because these days words are getting to where they don't mean shit.
Right.
No shit.
I do agree. I do agree. Like a lot of what it needs to be more what North Korea does, or at least in backroom talks and stuff like that. Because lots of I would assume lots of the rhetoric and stuff like that is sort of to create a boogeyman for the North Korean people, because I think for decades since the beginning essentially they've used the propaganda, the crazy American menace that's threatening our society and stuff like that. You make it as a unifying sort of propaganda and stuff like that. So,
Broken, you really got a bad case of bumblebee syndrome, my dude.
Yeah, I think you need to drop out and come back in.
all right.
All right, Cog, what do you think?
I think that what's been said, I would have to agree with, to be quite honest. Is there really anything else that needs to be said on that, honestly?
Well, I mean, honestly, like we were talking about actions and words.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at the whole Hurricane Harvey thing, where Melania Trump shows up in practical heels, then changes into tennis shoes, and what they showed up to the fucking site of the disaster. The fact that they showed up is sticking in more people's minds than that fucking heffalump that was criticizing Melania Trump for showing up in heels.
All right.
Right.
I'm going to say this once. My whole thing with people criticizing the First Lady about literally anything, like, fucking stop. In the long run, the First Lady doesn't really matter that terribly much. She's just the lady that's married to the president. Like, stop.
The
Right.
worst part about it is has she really done anything all that bad? I mean,
No.
Donald Trump runs his mouth, but Melania Trump, some asshole fucking,
Uh-oh.
hating on her because she. Oh, no, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I think you hit a rough spot. Go ahead and start again.
Okay, I was saying, has the First Lady really done anything that bad? I mean, Trump talks a lot of shit, but I haven't really heard of that much. She donates Dr. Seuss books to some asshole that calls her a racist for donating Dr. Seuss books. What the fuck?
Oh my! What the shit was that?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they show pictures of that same librarian on like Dr. Seuss's birthday in a Cat in the Hat costume. No, Dr. Seuss is only racist when Republicans donate them to libraries.
Apparently.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
All right. What other questions did you have, Thorne, in regards to North Korea?
We actually, over the context of this conversation, kind of covered it, so I'm perfectly happy with talking about like fucking social media and its effect.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. Yeah. The thing is, like, in regards to it's a little schizophrenic, the coverage of Melania, because on one hand they're like, oh, she knocked away Donald Trump's hand or whatever, and all that stuff, and so they're like celebrating that, and then at the same time they're like over stupid shoes or something. It's just again, like, also like the First Lady or the first husband or what, whoever is not president doesn't actually, like, they're not really doing policy or anything like that. It's not, they don't affect anything really.
Well, honestly, to be the First Lady is basically just an opportunity to work on some weird pet projects. You might like. I'm worried about the plight of the short-tailed farting lesbian penguins in Ecuador. We have to do something. I mean, the First Lady doesn't really affect policy at all. I mean, maybe behind the scenes when she's discussing it with her husband later, while he's the president. But what policies do the First Lady actually affect in real time?
Not really any, unless you're talking about one of the First Ladies that behind the scenes kind of took over for a little while because of the president's inability to lead. In that case, you might say that they affected policy a little bit, but that's kind of rare and kind of far between. In the case of the First Lady, she was really supposed to be just kind of a glorified housekeeper and secretary originally, and just do like wife things. And the whole thing of the First Ladies having a pet project is really kind of a new thing.
I mean, we've gotten a lot of stupid shit out of first ladies. I mean, wasn't Nancy Reagan's whole pet project that fucking retarded DARE shit?
I think honestly that
I think so.
like if you talk about like first ladies affecting policy, she's probably the only one that I would say negatively affected policy, because that bullshit persists to this day.
So that was actually DARE was actually her pet project?
Yup, one of.
Well, you guys just missed it. I just passed by a whole line of kids and adults holding signs about anti-abortion crap.
Mm.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm in Texas. What do you expect?
Maybe they could try a different after-school program that doesn't involve holding pictures of aborted fetuses.
Oh
Or
no, they were just all tasteful sort of protest signs kind of
Okay.
things, but it's the kind of that's the kind of shit I wish Antifa would do instead of trying to get the cops to curb stomp every last fucking one of them,
Yeah, me too.
and trying to get cops to whap them in the balls with pepper.
Funny side note on the story on that whole abortion thing. Apparently, when I was in about my sophomore year of high school, the anti-abortion people decided to pick my school as a place to protest, like across the street. Yeah, the people that lived there were thrilled, by the way. And they had these big, like 5-foot-high signs with pictures of what they claimed were aborted fetuses, and what several nurses later found out were actually not. They were miscarriages. So they just basically found the bloodiest picture they possibly could on Google.
Oh yeah, they got to go for the shock value. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't even they were like, I'm just like, oh yeah, you found somebody's like last picture of their baby, which I don't. More power to you. I don't know why you take a picture of that and put it on the internet, but
Because some people are just fucking weird.
yes.
It also could be like medical studies or something like that might have that. I would guess that's the only the only other one I can think of.
Yeah, I think it was either a medical study or someone's like personal picture because they wanted to remember their baby, which would make it actually worse. Because it's just like, yeah, that's somebody's like sentimental picture and you're using it for your propaganda. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That creeps me out. I'm creeped out now. I'm hard to creep out too.
Well, if you skeeve me out, then you've managed to do something.
Forget about First Lady's contributions. No. MC, we remember the DARE program. I was in the DARE program. It was, it's a load of BS. Like, I don't think that before I actually started the DARE program in school, I ever even considered doing drugs.
Although, speaking of affecting policy, one thing to, I guess, remember also, Hillary Clinton also was championing the healthcare thing, if I recall correctly, during Bill Clinton's term. So I mean, I guess in a way, you know, but they're not criticizing her on policy; they're criticizing her on stupid shit. So
yeah, I don't even know like what is her pet project? Wasn't it like online bullying? Which there's some irony.
I do believe she had an anti-bullying thing. Yes.
I think the worst part of it is you know, if you're going to criticize a president or a first lady, criticize them on at least stuff that's worthwhile. Like I said, you know, criticizing the first lady over the shoes she wore to the Harvey disaster site, that has got to be some of the pettiest and stupidest shit ever. If you're going to criticize her, find something that's actually fucking, you know, like, holy shit, I can't believe she actually did that.
Or like the whole thing with Michelle Obama being a man. Like, find
yeah,
something.
Well, that's funny for memeing purposes, but for actual stupid shit that she did, like being the first lady, it's meaningless. It's just petty and stupid. It's like, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, she looks really, really mannish, haha. Yeah, but what has she actually done that we can be like, oh fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, can you give me something? Like, people were using that as like a little conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama was transgender. And I just think, wait, you actually think that this is a real thing, and you're using it to like call her out or some shit? It's just like, even if she was, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, and I was like, the fact that they think people would care or should care, then it's essentially the same thing as the stilettos. It's exactly the same thing. Or the like right after the election, a bunch of progressives very hypocritically were you know, like, oh hey look, here's our classy first lady, and showing Melania Trump in her you know, in the bear or whatever.
You're talking about those nudie pictures of the first lady that she did when she was a model?
Yeah, it was very hypocritical. It's like, oh yeah, we're pro woman, but then we'll, you know, like shame somebody for being a model. It's like, okay.
Well, and that's the funny thing. It's like, okay, how does the first lady having posed in the nude affect anything as far as American policy, or what damage does it do to inner cities? Explain it to me. Okay, yeah, the first lady's hot and she posed naked. Fine, whatever. Tell me how that affects my life, our economy, or anything of actual importance.
Basically none.
Because the first lady's not supposed to affect anything of any real importance. She's a figurehead person.
Well, and naked pictures of her or her shoes, that doesn't affect anybody but her.
What do naked shoes look like?
I don't know. I'd have to see.
You turn them inside out?
Yeah.
Something like that.
You know, and the funniest thing about social media is, yeah, my social media is purely for the purposes of shit posting, telling bad jokes, you know, finding out what kind of stupid shit's going on, and browsing for porn, and that's it. That's my social media in a nutshell. I'll talk to anybody who tweets at me, and I'll tweet all bad jokes all fucking day long, but really, that's all I use it for.
Yeah, for me, like, social media is very good in being able to, like, there's a lot of discussions that could be had. Even with Twitter's 140 characters, I've had some decent and interesting conversations on Twitter. Believe it or not.
Don't forget, the wall just got 140 characters higher.
Yeah,
supposedly.
Yes, we did.
I'm still waiting for that, please. I keep running out of fucking characters.
Yeah,
I've given up.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that on my phone either. That's the disappointing part. It's like, come on, I want to actually use punctuation and fucking full proper words. Where the fuck's my 280?
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah. 140 is not enough. I've given up on so many tweets just because I like run out of space and I'm too lazy to figure out how to make it shorter. So I just erase it and move on.
Well, I've always got that big throbbing vein in my forehead when it's like, okay, now I got to figure out how to edit this fucking thing down to 140.
Yeah. And there's no. I have other things to do.
Oh, look, I managed to get it to 139. I can even be a fancy motherfucker and add a period.
You know that you're too wordy when you have to remove punctuation from your tweet. And then you sound like a moron because there's no grammar. Yeah, I don't nitpick people's grammar on fucking Twitter. Everybody gets me with the your and your. Just like, here's the thing. If I add the apostrophe and the R and the E, it doesn't fucking fit in the tweet. So, excuse me.
Yeah, no, definitely Twitter has forced me
Social media has created... Well, social media has made me... Social media has made me immune to when people use you are instead of your, or Y-O-U apostrophe R-E.
Yeah, no, and like someone will correct me and I'll be just like, did you see how long the tweet was? I needed to cut something. Yes, I look like a moron. I know what you and your is.
We must remove the superfluous lettering.
Yeah, as a minor grammar Nazi, it bugs the hell out of me. But like, I'm like, what do you do? Like, it's just like, I'm not gonna create a second tweet for like a period.
No, yeah.
Honestly though, the only reason the 280 characters on Twitter worries me is because I've seen people write
Oh. Well, if you've ever been on Reddit, have you ever seen like somebody has a one-sentence response and somebody responds to that with like a fucking essay?
Well,
I mean, to
I've seen that on YouTube so many times where somebody writes a fucking novel.
To be fair, that happens anyway. There's like
I'll
a
be back.
giant tweet storm on one tweet, and you can do it. It's just
Also, YouTube comments are not really great for punctuation because sometimes it'll just like erase tab and enter. So there's like no page breaks, and it's just wall of text crits you for 2,000. And it's impossible I won't read stuff like that when people don't have like space, like actual breaks between paragraphs. I didn't read your post. I'm sorry. It gives me an unbelievable headache to do so. So like if you do that in my comments, there's a good chance that I might never get to that comment.
Oh, the travails of the crappy signal.
Yay, we lost you for a sec. But yeah, no, too long.
Yeah, what?
Didn't read. Use enter button. Tab is a thing. Grammar.
Well, that has got to be the funniest part of YouTube comments, is I've seen so many people write a fucking novella in the goddamn comment section of YouTube. And yeah, that's why I'm worried about the 280 characters on Twitter. It's like, dude, Jesus Christ, I ain't that much.
I'm probably still going to surpass 280 because I'm that person. Like, most of my YouTube comments I keep short because I know that if I try and type everything that I'm thinking, I'm going to be there for the next hour and no one's going to read it. I'm much better.
Well, that's why you keep it short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah. It's like, it's hard to find that happy medium between like critting somebody with a wall of text and posting something that's so short it makes you sound like you're mentally retarded.
Well, and that's part of why, the old KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I've had to evolve that for comment sections and change it into keep it short, shithead.
Yes. Yeah, like I just typed in the chat, we are going to wrap this up because I am on cup of coffee number 3 and I got to go to the bathroom. So it seems like we could stop.
fair enough.
All right. So thank you guys for joining me. We've been talking about social media and North Korea as it applies to social media and Donald Trump in social media. So you got 3 subjects for the price Of 1. And today I've been joined by the truckin' motherfucker, Magnus Deacon, Cog Grinder, a.k.a. Cognitive Thoughts gay profile on the internet, and Broken Liberal.
Thank you for having us on.
No, thank you.
Hopefully everybody was enlightened and entertained, because I tried.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Always enjoy with Magnus on the stream.
Yeah, this is my first stream without Logical Lion because he unfortunately had to drop this completely. So from now on, it's just gonna be me on Sundays. Hopefully, y'all don't mind. I hope I did well. Thank you guys in the chat for actually joining me this Sunday. And next week, I'm not sure what I'm gonna be talking about. I'm not sure who's gonna be here, but stay tuned.